Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video and it answered a lot of your questions. We're going to go ahead and review it now. And I'll probably say this a few more times. Obviously, if you have any questions or it comes up to you later and not while we're discussing it and having group questions, all you have to do is let me know and I will be happy to help you. So let's get started with the Big 6 lesson conclusion. All right, so this review is to make sure that you understand the steps of the Big 6 and you're going to be able to apply the strategies to this class project. All this lesson, the videos, the materials are going to remain on the library website under your teacher's name, so you can refer to it for any future research or if any other class assignments you want to have. This is going to be up there, so you can always take this and translate it into a different course project if you need an information framework and you liked this one. Okay, so the handout you'll receive has got a few things on it. It has the steps of the Big 6 and a corresponding like quick phrase. Like step 1 is your research question, something that quickly summarizes the step so that you can kind of refer to it quickly in your mind. There's also 5 websites, some at the collegiate level that are discussing the Big 6 as an information model and how to use it with some extra resources. That collegiate level is very helpful because if you are gonna thinking of going to college after you leave us here, then it's good to get familiar with collegiate level sources and their websites as well. And then it also provides a simple list of tasks associated with each step that you can check off just to make sure your mind is in the right spot for that task. Okay, so Big 6, step number 1, task definition. And then we've got 2 parts. We need to define the information problem and we need to identify the information need. We can't do one without the other. So what is the assignment asking? What are the things I need for this assignment? What direction do I need to take? Where do I need to end up? Sometimes knowing where you need to end up and working backwards is a very helpful process to make sure you've got the right infrastructure in place as opposed to starting at the beginning and wandering down a lot of tangents and then not necessarily getting to the right spot. So define the information problem. What is the assignment asking? Then that leads you going to being able to go to what steps do I need to do and what information do I need. So it is crucial to define the task, what the problem is, where am I ending up, and what information am I going to need to get there. So if my final task was getting my driver's license, well, what information do I need? I need some kind of identification. I need to have passed a driver's test. I need to have taken driver's ed. So you need to be able to figure out the various pieces that you need that define that task, the very first step, task definition. All right, step number 2 is information seeking strategies. We're going to determine all of our sources and we have to select the best source. So where can I find this information? Is it a database? Is it a book? Is it speaking to an expert? Is it going to a museum? Where can I find these things? Which leads into who can I ask for help? Well, you can ask the librarian for help. You can ask your teacher for help. You can ask a subject matter expert for help. There's lots of different places you can turn for help. And I'm obviously always going to be available to you if you have any kind of information you need supported. And then how do I organize my plan? I've got to pick the best sources, right? How am I going to select my best sources once I find this information, once I know where I'm looking for it? Because you need to have a plan and know when you're going to search these 3 information databases and you're going to look for these 5 books and you're going to email these 2 people. Like you need to have a plan so that you can select the best sources. All right, step number 3, location and access, both intellectually and physically, and finding information within the sources. So where do I need to go to get my sources? Is it our school library? Is it a university library? Is it some or like organization or philanthropic group that keeps records? Like where am I getting my information? Is it just the internet? Is it a website? Where am I looking? And have I collected all of my information in one spot? So this is really an important step. Like you go and you get all your things. Have I collected all my initial materials in one spot before I start reading? Get everything all in one place and then move forward. And then finding information within sources, even as a physical thing, like there's a table of contents, there's an index. You don't need to read the whole book. You need to read the chapter that's pertinent to your book or look at the images that are pertinent to your project and not necessarily the entire thing. And you need to know how to search the databases, and which is something we teach you in the library, and I'm always willing to help. And then am I prepared to note other paths of information that I find so I can follow those leads after my first information reading? This is an important step. So you find these things, you're starting to find information. People have bibliographies, and maybe you notice that there's 3 other articles that would be really great. Don't derail yourself right now. Look at your materials, get them in that one spot, give them all the once over, read what you need to read, but note what other paths you might go down, especially if you find you have a gap in information or you need to shift your thesis, so that you have that recorded and you don't have to start over from scratch every single time. All about getting location and access and making sure you've got your stuff. All right, step 4, use of information. We're talking about engaging with the information, reading it, hearing it, viewing it, touching it, whatever it may be based on your project. And we're talking about extracting relevant information. So, do I like my note-taking system? It is important to have a note-taking system that works for you, but also provides the flexibility you need to rearrange your notes, not based on author or source, but based on theme, to help support your arguments and the point that you're trying to show in your final product. Do I have an idea of what I'm reading for? Am I going into my reading knowing that what I'm looking for, keywords, themes, what I'm trying to prove, what I need to support my argument? Do I know what I'm looking for, or I'm just trying to read all of it and hope something jumps out at me? Do I know what I want to ask someone in an interview? Do I know what artifact I need to look at to make sure it's from the right time period? Like, what do I know what I'm reading for and looking for? Is this information I'm getting supporting the task definition? Always circle back to that. Like, am I getting what I need to finalize the task that has been given to me, or am I just kind of going off on tangents and it's very fuzzy and it's not focused? That's why we've got the framework, is to help keep you focused so that you are getting what you need to accomplish the task. If you find that you don't like your note-taking system and it's not working for you, or you're feeling very loosey-goosey about it, just come find me. I have multiple ways of taking notes, so that you can shuffle from source to theme, and I'm happy to help you find one that you like that works best for you. All right, step number 5. This is when we get into the synthesis. We're organizing from multiple sources and we're presenting our information. And this is where that note-taking system really pays off. How will I reorganize my notes by topic and rephrase as needed? If you're just taking your notes by material, by article, by author, then you still have to look for those trends so you can synthesize it with the other places you have found information. So you need to reorganize your notes and rephrase things so that you're discussing the themes and the trends that you've pulled out. Do I have enough information to create a thorough presentation, or do I need to look for more? Do I have giant gaps? Was there a point I wanted to prove, but I didn't find enough information? This is where having taken those notes about noticing bibliographies or other paths you could have gone down can help you, because either it will lead you to more information about that topic, or it will maybe reveal a different point that suits your argument better, and maybe you should switch to looking into that point. And what is the best format to present my information? Does it lend itself to a presentation with slides and images? Or are there things that you should bring in so people can hold them and feel them? Is it writing a paper? What's the best format to present my information? Sometimes the final format will be given to you by your teacher and the project, and other times they're going to let you choose what you think is best for the situation. All right, step 6, evaluation. We're going to judge our product and we're going to judge the process. Have I provided all the components I was asked for? Have I done everything? Have I taken the notes? Have I handed in research? Have I checked all the boxes that I needed to check for this assignment? Did I answer the question? Did I go through and at the end of the day, once I got all of my synthesis done and I've made my product, did I answer the question I was asked? And does my final product show that I mastered the information? Can you see in my final product, whatever it is, presentation, website, paper, that I understood the information and I took that understanding and I took it another step further by creating this project and doing this research and synthesizing these extra things beyond what we learned in class? Does it show that I mastered the information? All right, so as you can see, the steps in the Big 6 provide structure and a framework to help you with the critical thinking process. One of the reasons that we really wanted to give you a structure like this was so that it was something that you didn't only find in this classroom. You couldn't only use it in the classroom. You can take it with you into life, and use it in college, in the workforce, because the framework has enough flexibility that you can use the steps: task definition, information seeking strategies, location and access, use of information, synthesis, and evaluation. You can use these steps for anything, anywhere where you have an information need and you've got to solve a problem or make a project or come up with a product. So this, we're hoping you can take this forward, instead of it only ever being used this one time in this one class, because we want you to learn things that you can apply towards your life when you leave us. Be sure to use the handout provided, and if I'm unavailable, this handout should be able to help you with extra resources. And you can also link to the videos and look at the class project page so that you can have support off hours on the off chance that I'm not in the library or I haven't gotten back to your email, and you really need help right then. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'm excited to see what you all end up handing in. All right, and real quickly, these are just the references I used if you wanted to go explore those standards more closely, or you wanted to see what the other standards were for these various things. This is my references. You've got the American Association of School Librarians, you've got the International Society for Technology and Education, you have the National Government Association Center for Practices, for your Common Core, and we've also got the Virginia Department of Education. In addition, I've got a link to big6.org and then a reference for the video that you saw earlier so that you know where I found that video if you want to revisit it, or see if you like that group and see if they have any videos that might support other learning that you have in other content areas.